I would like to introduce everyone back to the show. Now, of course, I would tell you why I've been out over the past few months now, but it's pretty obvious if you have seen my show already. Now, of course, since my absence, there has been a lot of stuff happening in the entertainment industry in terms of animation. Now, of course, since this is a lot, because this doesn't have to do with the animation industry much of what I'm talking about today, but this has to do with the real world and some cultures, including one little Asian girl who's kind of a bitch to her own brother. Well, typically it's her brother being a bitch to her, forcing her to sprout all these vulgar remarks, and it all backfired on her when she recently went on Good Morning America. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. We'll get to that eventually. Until then, I am Matthew Taylor. Welcome to the Weekend Binge. And of course, I really guess I have to say this with a very proud heart. I am leaving Long Island this September. Yeah, that's right. I am no longer living here. Starting September, there's a possibility I'll be in Queens. And if I don't die by the time I get there, then I should have an episode already done up for the 5th season. So until then, stay tuned, and we're going to get into our first topic here.
Roar. That means I love you in dinosaur.
Of course, we had the unfortunate event of Teen Titans Go existing on our TV screens when it debuted on Cartoon Network back in April of 2013. Since then, the show has been getting nothing but hate, and mostly other negative vibes towards it, which at the end of the day, I can disagree with them. The show itself has been pretty foolish and pretty kind of spit in the face of the original Titans of themselves, and even when they acknowledged, they didn't give a rat's ass about it. They took it like it was like a comedy skit off of Seinfeld. Well, not a comedy skit off of Seinfeld. Like, you know how Seinfeld does his little stands up at the beginning of the show? Yeah, they took it like that, and that was the end of it. And, you know, that has pretty much made fans say, you know, there ain't no stopping Cartoon Network or Warner Bros. Reign of terror of ruining good stuff that at least they could have credit to make better. Instead, you know, they gave up the Pokemon franchise, which they had from when I was born, well, in terms of US rights, bragging rights, to Disney XD, and it's been airing on there ever since, along with Yokai Watch, which apparently that shows, and ironically is airing in Cartoon Network in, I think, Asia or something. I don't mean like in Japan or nothing, because in Japan that's where the show obviously came from. It's airing on whatever station, TV Tokyo, I think. But that's another thing right now. Nevertheless, let's get back to America, where I was saying that apparently we've been thinking, you know, this could be the end of cartoons as we know it. The end of good writing, the end of good art style, and the beginning of simplicity. That's what I meant to say. And from there, you know, I've been kind of worried because I'm trying to go into the field of cartooning myself. And I'm afraid that whatever foot I can put into the door is going to be just slammed in, and I'm going to walk out with a foot injury as a, you know, a metaphor saying that my kind isn't welcome into, by my kind I mean my kind of unique style, because, you know, it's too good. It's too well done, it's too experienced. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not an art critic. It's the people that think that. And getting off of this little personal shit, let's talk about Thundercats Go. I mean, did I say Thundercats Go? Jesus Christ, I mean Thundercats Roar. At the end of the day, it's not really anything different, it's the same. Now, if you haven't heard about Thundercats Roar, there's this guy right here who happened to sports a man bun in one moment. This one guy who happened to sport a man bun, well, partially done man bun, called Victor Courtright, decided to go to Warner Bros. Animation once he got out of CalArts, which, of course, you know, it's like the Harvard of animation. It is a high-class, top-class animation school for people who really want to get their face out there. Disney, Turner, Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon, so forth. They really want to get their face out there, even go to Japan maybe, and be a part of whomever, Studio Trigger, so forth. Nevertheless to say, this one guy, Victor Courtwright, came out of CalArts, went to Warner Brothers, and kid you not, he pitched Thundercats Roar. Now you may be saying, Matthew, now Thundercats Roar sounds like a decent series. Like, sure, the name may sound kind of retarded as hell, but at the end of the day, it's possibly the way to drag in the youth. Well, I'm going to show you a clip at the end of this little chat we're having, and I'll let you be the judge of that. But all I can tell you is that I hope you like simplistic art styles, no more muscle-bounded alien cats. Instead, you're gonna get like how do I say, it's like some Tumblr drawing, and nevertheless stuff that kind of makes you think, am I watching OK Kale or am I watching a new series produced by Warner Bros. Animation? And at the end of the day, it makes me worry. If you haven't known, Animaniacs, the show that I was trying to shoot for once I'm out of college, is getting a reboot in 2020 on Hulu, order for the 2 seasons only. That's right. And of course, that kind of got me some chills inside, saying, Teen Titans Go is gonna suck. Excuse me for that. Allergies are a bitch. Teen Titans Go is gonna suck. Thundercats Roar is definitely gonna suck. What about the Animaniacs reboot that is bound for Hulu? What are we capable with that? And even though we have seen some good news, like Spielberg is returning to the show, and of course the guy who was on Family Guy, I forgot his name, but he played the doctor on Family Guy, is included within the show. But for now, I'm going to let you take a look at the clip itself, and I'm going to let you be the judge on wherever you think if this reboot is good or not, because I can say that this reboot, in terms of art style, is the most vile thing I have ever seen. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying don't direct your hate towards this guy, but just understand, this is the state of cartoons nowadays. We need to show that we can put a bit of oomph back into our art style here, because if we keep being like this, people won't care about art no more. They'll just say, oh, it's just a bunch of circles and stuff like that. And even when we have technology, we can put in the same oomph as we put in technology. So you put it on pen and paper, we can put that same oomph onto this little computer right here, this little surface, considering it's already broken as is. Anyway, we'll be right back. We'll talk about some more stuff right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm no longer back with that. My name is Pussy Mac Pussydyke, and welcome to Before and After. Now, of course, let me introduce you to Little Tay right here. This Little Tay, she is the youngest, she is so-called the younger reflexor of the century, but however, she is not. How's she doing, you ask? Well, she took the usual tests of skimming and mindless folks like us and showing that she got everything and she was nothing before, but in all reality she was nothing then and she is nothing now. Now the only way to prove that is because that all the stuff she had was rented. The car was her boss, her mother's boss. Plus the houses she was in was basically houses for people that they can buy. But it's unbelievable how this little girl can do but so much. I haven't seen Asian people take over our minds since anime. And of course now, here's her after. yes, this is her now. Alright, I'll stop that cringy impersonation. I'll get to what I want to talk about. Little Tay recently has been exposed, like I said, she's been exposed, like, if God, thank you Jesus, that should have happened a long time ago. If you folks are new to Lil Tay, you know, I can't praise you enough. I can't praise you enough. Lil Tay was formerly, quote-unquote, the youngest flex of the century. If that's not a good enough term, she was basically a wannabe Lil Pump. Actually, she was pretending Lil Pump. She pretended that she had it all of the houses, the cars, and so forth that is seen in her videos, but apparently she is wrong. I was saying was that Lil Tay, aka the Lil Pump Asian wannabe, she recently got exposed on ABC News Good Morning America, and of course it was, you know that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward is just living his day-to-day life, and apparently when he's taking his break, he happens to bump into Squilliam, and Squilliam talks all this shit about he's flexing better than him, and he has balloons, he has friends and everything, and that Squidward sucked ass in high school and whatnot. Apparently, Squidward decides to pretend flex nuts, which is obviously what Lil Tay did, and said that he works for a 5-star restaurant, and he would invite him there tonight. So all this assembly for that 5-star restaurant was pretty much hell and back for Squidward, because apparently Patrick and SpongeBob and Krabs caused their share of mayhem, from explosions to mental breakdowns and whatnot. And then once Squidward tried to run out and try to convince Squilliam that he was lying and he can take the L, apparently Squilliam thinks that he's just full of it and believes him, and walks in and figure out that Squidward was right to begin with, that he does work for a 5-star restaurant, because believe it or not, the whole Krusty Krab is redone. No, I'm going to fast forward and say that then once SpongeBob is asked to give the name of said establishment, not the name of said establishment, to Squilliam asked SpongeBob to give him his name, and SpongeBob forgot his name. And this is like Lil Tay, because I remember there was one clip, and I don't know which woman anchor for Good Morning America said it, but she asked Lil Tay, where is Harvard located? And then she decides to blink out and says that it's been so long I haven't been there. You could tell that this girl is basically trying to take off with Lil Pump here. And of course, you know, I have a deal for you. Instead of me blabbing my yapper mapper and whatnot, I'm going to show you a clip, and I'm going to go through a narration with you of how this all begins, because apparently, you know, I'm not very knowledgeable myself. I don't even know where Harvard is. I don't care about the college. I never don't want to go to college because it doesn't have my field of interest. And this is coming from someone who is going to college in T-minus 3 months from now. You can tell this is the future of American education, ladies and gentlemen. This is the future of American education. This is a human mind. This is the American mind right now. Right now. The human mind. Alright, boys. Here we are. This is a little commentary about the Good Morning America clip of Little Tay herself.
And we turn now to the controversial social media star Lil Tay. Just 9 years old, she and her mom are drawing fire for the...
Wait, before I get even further, note, I haven't watched Good Morning America because I watched the Today Show on NBC. Shout out to them. But I never knew that Good Morning America has this little audience right here. Usually I'm used to them standing outside, just dancing around like little nincompoops and whatnot. But they have little tables and stuff? Fancy.
Star Lil Tay, just 9 years old, she and her mom are drawing fire for the outrageous behavior posted online. Nightline's Juju Chang sat down with both of them in LA, and Juju, boy, this mom has a lot to answer for.
Absolutely, George. Good morning to you. You know, Little Tay is a 9-year-old who told me she's come here.
Drawing fire, more like drawing alerts. It's things like this that makes me wonder, there's things of people yap about, oh, let's make this for the children. We need to be better for the children. But how can you explain this, No, you're trying to show pleasure for black people. I'm gonna just go off keister here. You're showing pleasure for people from minorities, and these minorities are just as worse as white people are. I'm a minority, but that doesn't excuse me at the end of the day. Like, one of my own brethren can just go and like shoot someone and not have a bit of remorse. And yet it comes to stuff like this, like, oh well, she's swearing, it's not good. I think it's because, no, I think it's because people like you, the media, they want to make amnesty for certain type of people. I don't know how to say this, but I'm trying to go saying that, they're giving just a slap on the wrist for people who they think is good, but in reality, they aren't. And just all these people that pretend they're good despite them like cursing and doing drugs and whatnot, they try to put on mask. Oh, we're good people, don't worry about us. But at the end of the day, they're in a gang. Example 6ix9ine, like, obviously he's with the Bloods, but nevertheless, it ain't no different. Fred, that guy is still an asshole. Oh, talk about, I'm not stupid, you're stupid. And it even gets worse because, I saw this little Vine yesterday where some celebrity, I don't know, some news anchor, I know she was some satirical news anchor, she gave Lil Pump like a how to read book with auto sounds and pictures, and said that he can sample it for some of his songs, and he then said, oh, well, I don't know how to read, so picture books are better. And, oh, my God. I mean, this is art. We're supporting art here, and this is what art gets us. Art gets us dumber than cavemen. You know that episode, that Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, that show? That one class, I think Cookie was put in, like, the advanced math class with this Eastern European, who's that teacher who said that without math we are cavemen eating mud. That's what we are nowadays. We're just cavemen eating mud. That's because we're giving these little slap on the wrist for people who are just doing stuff just for the sake of art. Or these rappers who are doing things just for the sake of art and for a message. But forget about that. Let's get back to the Good Morning America.
Here to Hollywood to pursue her dreams of being a social media star. Now, child stardom is nothing new, but her act involves cursing up a storm and even pretending to do drugs. It's raising alarm bells about good parenting. Is it exploitation? Is it borderline abusive? I spoke with Lil Tay, who says it's all her idea.
Y'all saying I rent my cars?
She's the 9-year-old whose outrageous stunts and foul-mouthed bragging about luxury homes and cars she claims to own.
And now we be living in the hills. See that view? Y'all don't have that view. And I be holding your mama's rent.
Who's getting tons of notoriety and a whopping 2 million followers on Instagram.
You're like a legit fan of
a legit fan.
How would you respond to critics?
I thought. I just bouncing off what I just said a few seconds ago, to be fair. This is what we are. We have made the media and just the Democrats just saying. I could be wrong at the end of the day, but the Democrats to an extent. They have made a way where we're making children the voice, but yet they know that we are the ones that are making them having the voices that they are saying. Just as I said earlier in the show, so Lil Tay is obviously Lil Pump, only Asian and too young. And not to mention, I'm 8 months older than Lil Pump. I'm 8 months older. He's born August 2000. I'm born January 2000. And that just shows how sad our world is. especially someone like Kim, to be liking her. I get that we must respect our children, but if you want to respect children who how do I say this, who touches and damages to an extent other people's property without a bit of remorse, what else I could say? Say, what else I was about to get to. And so-called flexes in other people's home, which is considered is not even a home that's been acquired yet. It's a house that is meant to be acquired, and it's taking cars from people from like the mother's boss and whatnot. And all of this is not even her fault; it's her brother's. So I want all of you to know at the end of today. Okay, remember, the voices that you are saying are like mirrors to a child. And that's why I've always been taught to watch my mouth. Because, stuff like this can come out of it.
It's legit bad.
How would you respond to critics who would say, oh, you're just going to try to profit off your daughter now?
No one's forcing me to do this. That's not true that she wants to make money off of me.
And what?
And I'm starting to realize something. I watched a little compilation yesterday of Ghost from True Capitalist Radio. He's a great guy. Go follow him on Gab, Ghost Politics. It was a little compilation of radio graffiti calls, and they were playing these little troll clips of Maury Povich clips of, 7, 8-year-olds doing little delinquent stuff, such as doing drugs, and pretty much stuff that would fit Lil Tay's description. And he said that, he thinks that is because of single moms out here. Like, I don't know if Lil Tay's mom is single or anything of the sorts. But, you can, I don't know.
She wants to make money off.
But you can see how the mom is just clearly smiling. She has no shame. She has no sorrow. She has no remorse for what she has let her child done. And she doesn't even let her brother. She doesn't even check in on who's doing it. She just lets it slip through. She's sitting here on national television, network television to be fair, and letting this just all happen.
You hanging with me and Gail today?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, network television. You're sitting here grinning and letting a child who have ruined your image to an extent and just sit here and talk saying, oh, we're just doing this for fun. And it's just sad. It just gets me so upset. Sad, but let's just continue.
Off of me.
And what about those homes she claims to own? GMA talked to Mom Angie's former boss at a Vancouver real estate firm, who told us Little Tay filmed using his car and some of his properties for sale, all without his approval.
I didn't shoot it.
And there's the other issue. You see, what she's doing and her mom can be responsible for is trespassing. I don't know if that rule applies in Canada, which obviously they just mentioned, Vancouver. But if trespassing rules in the United States follows as it is in Canada, then it kind of pities me to see that Lil Tay's mom hasn't been arrested or charged. And back to what I said about Lil Tay's mom. I have a feeling that that this is all her. Maybe her brother. I'm sure she has a chunk in this also.
In anyone else's house.
You didn't shoot in anyone else's house? Just like...
No one has proof that I did.
And who's behind the shocking content on Lil Tay's social media accounts?
My mom doesn't run social media. I use my own Instagram.
These images will live on and follow you for the rest of your life. Is a 9-year-old really capable of making this kind of decision?
This is my decision. I'm happy with what I'm doing.
You see, and the mom's just sitting there, just not saying a word. We're just grinning there like she has no soul. No soul. And this woman, this anchor, I have to remember her name. I wasn't paying attention. Who was it that interviewed her? Juju Chang. I think that's how you pronounce it. Juju Chang. Juju Chang, she, and she's saying that those photos and videos will live on with her. They will follow her like a shadow for the rest of her life. And you know, her mother's just sitting there, just all smiling. I'm so happy. I'm on national television, American television. Yay!
We spent time with Lil Tay and her family 6 weeks after they moved from Canada to Hollywood.
I'm gonna have my name on one of these stars one day.
We were surprised to find a precocious, soft-spoken 9-year-old whose mom says she's a straight-A student. What are all the things that you do?
Swimming, skating, piano.
She is a well-mannered and a great kid.
And you know, I see why. Because, you know, she can't, I know I'm going to sound racist or something at the end of the day, but she can't even speak perfect English. You know, she has to have a translator at the bottom of the screen for people who can speak perfect English or has fluent English perfectly. And, you know, it just shows that she has no thought. She has no thought of Western common sense. I don't know what would be like in her neck of the woods where she came from or wherever she was born. Maybe she was born in Canada to begin with, but you know, I'm sure her family wouldn't approve of this. Like we're talking about their grandparents here, if she ever had any.
But that's not what comes across on the internet.
People think it's like funny, I guess, because I'm 9 years old and I've accomplished so much.
I don't think a lot of people are.
And you know, I know this is gonna come back at me, but the thing about her being a perfect grade student kind of disappoints me, you know, and it's starting to make me think that I'm not believing them, because, like I said, I'm starting to know that she's just copying off a Lil Pump, and she can't even be telling the truth as of whenever this interview was made. And I can tell because Lil Pump said that he did well, which he did show proof. If I remember one Snapchat video he made showing him that he graduated from Harvard and whatnot. But I'm feeling like Lil Tay could be just lying about that part for herself, because think about it, that's what Lil Pump said. And believe me, if you don't believe me now, just watch the continuation of the video and you'll find out yourself.
Believing that you're making millions of dollars at 9.
If they don't believe that, then I don't really care.
YouTube stars like Jake Paul are either co-opting her act or trashing it. Snoop Dogg even...
That's even a worse fate. Jake Paul. Now, of course, it ain't Logan Paul. Like, that's one good positive thing we can all agree at the end of the day. It ain't Logan Paul that is doing this, because, you know, Logan Paul recently came under fire earlier this year with the Suicide Forest mumbo jumbo, and, you know, it's been a long climb ever since. But, you know, in terms of Jake Paul tends to be a douchebag to an extent. He's an attempted douchebag, and in collaborating with a little kid who's doing all this stuff just makes it even worse. And even when he gets attention from a real rapper, he may be Democrat, he may hate our president, but a real rapper who is just as OG as she can get, who is just as OG as Lil Tay, starts to raise a brow here.
And accusing her 16-year-old brother of coaching her.
A lot of people are going to say this and that. We just keep going.
As for her schooling,
I'm a Harvard dropout.
And you see, here it comes.
What city is Harvard in?
I kind of forgot because I haven't been there in a long time.
Mom said...
Alright, it's time to cue the game show theme. Just give me a moment. Let me put something decent. there it is. Cambridge, Massachusetts. And she doesn't even know that. And let's see, who came out of Harvard University, of course? I wonder who. Let's see, we have Theodore J. Kaczynski, Mark Zuckerberg, former President Barack Obama, Natalie Portman, Bill Gates, Matt Damon, JFK, Ali Koch, Colin Jost, think Obama's daughter, Conan O'Brien, Jeremy Lin, Michelle Obama, George W. Bush, Roosevelt, Tyra, Hillary Duff, B.J. Novak of The Office fame, Theodore Roosevelt, John Adams, our second president, Rashida Jones, an actor, Helen Keller, Ashley Judd, Randall, I don't think that's the Gandhi I'm thinking about, Ben Shapiro, Gabe Newell, Al Gore, Henry Kissinger, Neil deGrasse Tyson, B.F. Skinner, Michiko Kaku, that name sounds unique. But let's see here. Did Little Pump really graduate from Harvard University? Well, let's see here. Well, it's currently unknown, but I'm starting to not believe him. And it even comes to the point where she doesn't even know where it is to begin with. Saying it's been so long since I've ever been to that school. But hey, at the end of the day, whatever. You know, and of course, usually, I really want to talk about the Father's Day issue here in America with the power of cuckolding and feminism cock-blocking it, but, you know, I'm just gonna say one person made it clear that's happening. And his name, Stephen Colbert. The video, I'm not gonna show you because I'm too tired right now. I feel like I explained enough, and of course, it's time for me to move on and do something else better with my life today. And of course, my final words is that, you know, it's been great living here on Long Island for all my life, despite my hardships and passings and whatnot. I just can't think being here, and just have to say it's been nice while it lasted, and hopefully the next few years of my life after today will be well made, and hopefully, you know, I'll be more healthy, more wise, and all that other good stuff. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Matthew saying thank you for watching, and goodbye.